Listen up, Rangers! Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today in this Unimportant review, we have the SH MonsterArts Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm going to assume it's in attack mode from Bandai Tamashii Nation. Main reason I picked this up is actually for my wife. My wife is super into Yu-Gi-Oh! It's one of her favorite animes of all time. She has a bunch of the cards. We actually just got the dual disc recently. And wanted to grab this for her. Also, I really enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! We got some hanging out here in the office. I got Yu-Gi, got some Dark Magician girls. But first of the Blue Eyes White Dragons, at least puzzle-wise. We have some like old statues hanging out. But main reason this is getting an unimportant review, which these are also unedited, show up on our Patreon early, so if you guys like to help donate, greatly would appreciate it. It's $1 to get early access, $3 to get in our Discord, and also if you guys like to get commissions done, especially 3D printing commissions, say you got a file, need it printed, again, make sure to check out the link in the description, because I like to do stuff for our Patreons, and I usually do them a little cheaper than I would say charge like on Instagram or Etsy. But also why this is getting on. I forgot. I just stopped because I was like, oh, I'll just cut this part out. And then I'm like, oh yeah, these are unedited. So we're just going to keep rolling with it. But I keep losing my train of thought. Reason why this is getting an unimportant review is I don't have a Kaiba to be able to do photos with it. And I really want one to do the photos because I feel like I'm not doing a service if I don't have him doing something with this guy. So we're just going to do a quick little rundown of this figure. So without further ado, for its packaging, super sweet. You got like the hieroglyphics. God, this is like the worst one. So usually these are unedited. And we might have like one mess up or two, but this one's going to be interesting. Still early for me today. Hieroglyphics in the background. Blue eyes. Actually is done with a different style. So you kind of see it's got a bit of a shine to it. Well, the background's done in the matte. You get the gold lettering here on the bottom. Get the tiniest quality control sticker there. Get blue on the side. You'll hear some movement in the box. That's actually the little pegs for the stand. They're currently hanging out in there. But bottom looks really sweet. More blue on the side. Also looks pretty spot on to the original card. Back of the package, it doing some poses, shows the beam. That's where you see part of the body. Some Lego mumbo jumbos here on the bottom. So, if I can get them off my table without knocking a bunch of things over in the process. Here is Blue Eyes on the stand. Now, what I mentioned with the parts rolling around in the box is where the pegs for the stand hook can do. There's actually these little filler pegs. So if you don't want the hole there and you're not using this part of the stand, you can fill it with that. So it does come with those. But as you can see here, one fully assembled. This is kind of what you're getting with your flight stand, where it just kind of sits on there. You get the sweet blast attack on the front. It's got a little bit of electricity flowing around it there. Pop it off real quick just so you guys can see. I kind of wish we would get more Dragon Ball effects that were like this good. It's kind of one of the reasons why I stopped collecting the line. It's just because you don't really get any cool accessories to go along with your characters. Unless you're kind of doing what I do and just 3D print them yourselves. But this thing's super dope. And kind of outside of the random parts that like to fall, kind of want to maybe make something like this to 3D print, just so I have some more variety in the Etsy shop outside of just a lot of Godzilla beams. Having some stuff that could just be like universally used for some other characters. But for the stand, you get one articulated arm. You get the groin holder there. And then the pegs for the wings. Which, these sections here are kind of meant to the wingtips to go into them. And that's what helps you hold it into there. But generally speaking, that's kind of how it's assembled. And then for the blue eyes, hopefully it's not too bright on this video. On my end, it seems kind of bright, but I know when I go to edit, usually the video is darker than what it seems like it is on here. But I will say, coloring wise, this thing is phenomenal. Outside of one big issue I've had with this is the way it's painted is it's a lot of metallics, very glossy finishes. It's really easy to damage and scuff up. And to be honest, having got this one out of the package, it was already kind of fudged up to begin with a little bit with the paint. So we did a live stream unboxing, and I noticed back here, there's some paint already missing on the tail, which is a bit frustrating. And also, if there's any imperfections in the plastic, it kind of shows up. So you got that piece there. And there's a few other sections. But with a lot of bright colors and the way it's overall painted, that stuff shows up a little bit better. Granted, at least the imperfection in the paint is on the back of the tail, so for the most part, you're not going to really notice it. But something just to be kind of wary if you guys decide to pick this up. Which, fun fact, this thing's actually cheaper than most of the expensive Godzilla figures that have been coming out recently. Like, you can pick up Blue Eyes, at least importing-wise, about the same as you could for a -1. And as you can see, you get the beam effect, you get a big stand. The figure's nice, big, and chunky. I actually had my figure kind of hanging out around here. Where are you? Because this is the kind of time this video. I'm also planning on working on a skip video today. But it's about the same. It's a little bit taller than the -1 figure. Plus, you get the giant wingspan, which also works really well in its favor. Posability-wise, mouths can open and close. The tongue's articulated. The jaw can kind of rotate a bit too. The head can look up about that far, down about that far. Nice side to side. You can rotate it. So, a lot of posability there. Nothing at the side, little side tooth thing. Wings are on a hinge, so you can only really get them forward and back. You can rotate them, and then you can adjust the hinge in order to help with the posability. And then it has the same kind of wing setup as the Destroyer figure and some of the Rodans, where it's got the little ball joints here. So probably the most terrifying and easily breakable thing here are these sections here. But the wing is on a hinge there, so you can move it in and out, rotate it. And then these are on ball joints. So for the most part, you can adjust them enough so that the wing doesn't break detail. Body can go really nice forward and back. You can rotate it there as well. I think the arms are on hinges. Oh, you know what? That might be a ball joint. I think that's a ball joint there. It's got a hinge for the elbow, though. So forward, back of the elbow, rotate the elbow. Hand can rotate, goes up and down. Legs forward and back. A little bit in and out. Knee, forward and back. Rotation at the knee. Feet can rotate. And we're all on ball joints, so you can pretty much get them in most directions. Kind of a weird angle for the ball joint, though. So you can get it more to the side than you can inwards. And then the tail also has quite a bit of posability there, too. Because for the most part, I think it's up to this section. Here's the ball joint, and it's like ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. So it runs all the way up into the figure. So posability-wise, really, really awesome. Not really a lot to go over the details, because it's not like the most complicatedly detailed figure. It's pretty much just a bunch of tail sections that just get bigger in size and more pointy going along to the bottom of the tail here. Claws on the feet look really nice, though. It's also got a little hair there. Hand claws look cool as well. Almost kind of wish he maybe had extra hands, but I think for the amount of stuff he comes with and the price point, I probably shouldn't be complaining. And for the most part, at least when you see them playing the game in the anime and whatnot, it's not like they're like getting into fisticuffs with each other. It's pretty much like, I do my move, good to go. So it's just having the beam effect, I think, is more than plenty for this figure. Eyes look really good too. So overall, I think this thing's great. I think for the amount of stuff you get with this and for the size and heft of this figure, this thing is phenomenal and probably one of the best MonsterArts I've gotten in a long time. The only thing, like I said, kind of sucks about it is more or less the way it's not designed. Like, it's got to be painted like this, but because it's painted like this, it can possibly cause some problems. hence like with the tail. Or if you do decide to mess around with it and want to do like toy photography, stuff like that, the way the paint is, it can scuff fairly easy, so you got to be mindful of that. But I don't think that's a detriment to the figure. It's just kind of like a necessary evil. But if you guys would like to pick this up, I think they still had some on Entertainment Earth, link in the description. If you guys like to help support the channel, get yourself this sweet collectible. Because as of right now, this thing's probably making it into the top 10 list of the year. Because I'd say it's easily the coolest thing I've gotten so far this year. I don't even think it's close. It'd be like this and the RC Godzilla. And this is probably still better by a lot. But anyways, help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Jessica's trying to call me while I'm filming. Subscribe, become a Ranger today. We've got Instagram, Patreon, pictures, Facebook. Guys, like people that do a channel and donate. Greatly would appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.